I think we have to talk about the other, big exciting news over the last week or so, which is the launch of the North American Rugby League.
You know how happy this makes me, and I know how happy it makes you. And I was so heartened to see the response online of just unbridled enthusiasm for it. So hopefully it goes well because, yeah, if it does, it's just finally going to happen after 110 years. We're going to get a foothold in America.
I'm really excited for it. And I thought the launch and the way it looks was great. I love most of the team names and the logos, and I love the areas. I love the places they've got teams.
I'll tell you why I'm thinking it's going to be a success, because I had about 3 or 4 union trolls writing to me online to sink the slipper and me resorting to calling them rah-rah pedophiles and stuff like that. But
I'm begging you, stop trashing Union on Twitter. I can't deal with it.
No, but the fact they're writing to me to say, oh, it's never going to work in America, means it's probably going to work because they're worried about it. I said to one of these trolls, I equate rugby league to the electric car and Union to the Model T. Like, the product's so much better.
Yeah.
It's cleaner, there's more acceleration, etc. So I think it's going to work. I think Americans going to get behind it. It'll take 20 years, but, slowly.
I really hope you're right. And I'm enthusiastic about it. I love the fact that we're going to be able to see it. I think it's Sportsflix is the company that has the rights. I'm not familiar with them, but I'll definitely investigate that as we get close to the season. I do want to throw some water on this and be a bit of a dampener. Just to note that most of the enthusiasm I've seen online has been seemingly from Australian people.
Of course, and it's going to be that way. It's going to be that way for 5-10 years. How many Western Sydney people were over the moon about GWS, like at the beginning?
Yeah, or now.
No, they've got a little base now. But I mean, it's going to be that sort of thing. It's like, but from what I've seen from the clips of the guys training and trialing, you've got these mad athletes there that are just, learning the game. I think it's going to attract a small base to start and hopefully build on.
Yeah. I hope you're right. And
there's many negatives to talk about with it, mind you. I'm not going to say it's perfect, but like as an overall big picture, I think it's looking in the right direction. I spoke to the founder of it on LinkedIn.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Curtis, great bloke. So as is my want, I just write to people and give them my thoughts on their profession. And he was like, thanks for the support in Australia. We're overjoyed with it, that type of thing. So I say everyone keeps getting behind it.
Yeah. I do want to touch on the Toronto aspect of it. So I think the plan is for this year with COVID, they're basically going to be not part of the main competition, them and Ottawa. And then hopefully next year it will be like a 14-team full kind of thing. I kind of think like that there was a lot of criticism of the English clubs for the way they dealt with Toronto and, how that all played out, which, I think some of that's fair, and it's fair to be critical of the small-mindedness of aspects of the English league, and the Australian league as well, for that matter. But I think it's one of those things where in 5, 10, 20 years, hopefully when, this is all going successful and the Toronto Wolfpack are a staple on the North American sporting scene, it's going to look like a real curiosity that they were part of the English league at all.
Yeah, and I think the English league has really dropped an opportunity to have access to that market, but it's better that they're in the North American league.
And I mean, when you're talking about a league that sponsorship gets paid by the slice, is that the league that is set up for a transatlantic competition?
I mean, do you reckon they negotiated for a stuffed crust and it got rejected?
I just think it's probably not going to be sustainable long term for it to, happen that way. So this could be a blessing.
Well, I will say this, though. I'd like to go through the teams with you as well, but I mean, I will say this. I think it's absolutely imperative that the International Rugby League and the NRL and the Super League throw some money behind this and help them cover costs and everything, because it's basically an amateur league, though it's professional, paltry salary caps, etc. If they don't, they're absolutely myopic.
Yeah, agreed totally. And I think beyond throwing the money, which they absolutely should do, there should be, I don't know exactly what the level of competition is going to be, but I'm thinking you could send the New South Wales and Queensland Cup winners over for some kind of
Yeah, for
mini
sure.
tournament against a couple of teams. The English football could do the same, host return visits here, and just kind of get that. We don't want to launch a World Club Challenge just yet, but to get
Ever.
but to get some kind of reciprocal play going where, their teams can play against some of our talent and, build up their skills that way.
I want to have the Toronto Scorpions, aka the Macquarie Scorpions, be the sister club of the Wolfpack.
Yeah.
But I just heard online then that Ben Barber is rumoured to be signing with the New York Rugby League, which is my team.
Well, that leads us to something I put to you off air when this was first announced, is the worry about how many Matt Lodges we're going to get with ex-NRL players playing in this competition.
Well, this announcement is a great day for grubs because they no longer have to learn any French. They can just go to America and speak English.
But, we all know that Ben Barber would carve up in that competition if he's got his head on.
The only time his head's not on is when he's consuming drugs and alcohol and punching his missus. So if you can stop doing that, you'll be laughing.
Yeah. No pokies in New York. That can only help.
Yeah, that's why I want to go there. I want to get a job with the New York Rugby League. Save about 100 Gs. But that's an exciting signing. You had Eddie Pettybourne signing recently with the Brooklyn team.
Yeah.
The Brooklyn Kings, BKs.
Yeah, and I'm sure, more signings will follow. There seems to be such enthusiasm from Australian League fans that I think you're right. That can only help with, getting the competition off the ground.
Some of these rah-rah trolls have got some good points, like where's the money coming from? It's a very good point because, they're not going to get any crowds to start with.
No.
It'll be 500 to 3,000 crowds, so you're not going to have a lot of money coming in there. So hopefully the sponsors will be good, but the NRL needs to just sponsor this thing. That's so much money we can just waste it on bullshit. We can sponsor this.
We can't let it fall over just because the largesse of the people running the competition runs out and, they're not getting the crowds or the revenue they thought and they pull the pin. We can't let that happen.
But let's talk about how good it looks on paper because Atlanta Rhinos, Brooklyn Kings, Boston 13s, great name, Cleveland Rugby League, who have been established for a while now, New York Rugby League, Washington, D.C. Cavalry, Ottawa Aces, Toronto Wolfpack, and in the other division, the Western Conference, Austin Armadillos, Las Vegas Blackjacks, reminiscent of the Adelaide Aces, Phoenix Venom, great name, Portland Loggers, great name, San Diego Swell, awesome name, and the San Francisco Rush. It's a national comp.
Yeah.
We haven't got a national comp in the best comp in the world.
And I guess that is where some of the skepticism comes into it and some of the fear. Is it too much too soon? And, is it sustainable? And I think that's the big question.
But why start off with 11 teams in Sydney?
Yeah.
Start off like a real competition. So it looks like a major league comp. It's fucking awesome looking.
Yeah.
So I wanted to shout out another bloke who touched the heart. We follow them on Twitter, and my private account follows them, California Rugby League and the LA Mongrel. There's a team in that league, the best nickname ever of a rugby league team, the LA Mongrel. It's got a bulldog logo sort of thing. I was chatting with them online the other day, and this guy that runs them, Chad Cooper, he was at the game in a suit for the launch, and he was filming himself, and he was in tears about how happy he is to get this comp off the ground in California, and it was just magic. So give them a follow online, and they'll be feeding some plays into the NARL, I imagine, from the California Rugby League.
So it's exciting times for all my, negativity about it tonight. I'm really excited for it, and I'm all in on the Atlanta Rhinos.
Yeah, I saw you adopt them. It's pretty cool. So I wonder if they'll get a Leeds Rhino sister club set up.
Yeah. I mean, that's, again, when you go into support, these are the kind of things that us and the English RFL have to, think about, and I'm sure they are.
You sure are you? I'm sure they're down at the Workman's Club playing darts with a Guinness, but looking at the map, there's only the middle of America is not represented only, so maybe they can get a Kansas City or a St. Louis or a Minnesota team in there in the future, but it looks beautiful so far.
Yeah.